There ought to be joy in every heart with Jesus. The book is 2 Samuel, if you will, chapter number 18. 2 Samuel 18. Thank God for our praise dance ministry and how they always bless us. 2 Samuel 18, verse 31 through 33. Old Testament passage of Scripture. Thank God for the 8 who've come and declared that Jesus is their Lord. And we thank God for them openly displaying through baptism what they have already confessed in their hearts. 2 Samuel 18:31, are we there? If you're not there, say, wait a minute. All right. The 18th chapter of 2 Samuel, beginning at verse 31. And behold, Cushi came, and Cushi said, tidings, my lord, the king, for the Lord hath avenged thee this day of all them that rose up against thee. And the king was much moved, and went to the chamber over the gate, and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would God I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son. Thus, in the reading of the text, the flower is fading, the grass is going certainly to wither. But my Lord, the word shall not return unto him void. Verse 32, David raises the question, is the young man Absalom safe? And then he receives the answer. And in 33, he then cries out, O my son Absalom, my son, Absalom, would God I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son. Yeah. I want to take this text for a few minutes and talk about, can we save Absalom? Can we save Absalom? Pray with me, if you will. My heart is, thank you, Urshus, heavy and burdened. My heart is heavy and burdened because of the times in which we find ourselves living. If it's not one report of bad news, it is another. One family is leaving the cemetery while another is on their way. And if we would stand and look at them, we'd declare that the trip was made much too soon. But yet time and time again, we find ourselves in funeral garb, mourning the loss of those who ought be just spreading their wings. My heart is heavy and it is burdened when I see the signs of the time. My heart is heavy and it's burdened. I wanted to raise this question not only for we who are sitting in this room today under the sound of my feeble voice, but for those who may see this tape delayed later. I need to raise this question. Can we save Absalom? One reads the text, one finds out that David lost his son. I dare suggest to you this morning, moving toward the afternoon, that all of us have lost a loved one at some point or another. And if we keep on living and having our being in the power of God, we're going to lose more. But we would like to lose them to what is deemed to be normal circumstances for dying. It hurts when we lose them through violence. It hurts when we lose them through people who want to fight for turf they don't even own. I wanted to look at this for a minute because I can identify too personally and painfully with the question that's raised by David. I've said before, but if you don't mind, humor me and indulge me to remind others that I don't preach texts like this in absentia. I don't preach these texts from seminary training, but these kind of texts come from tears that I've shed in my own personal life. For I too had a brother who died much too soon, who should have, at the age of 26, been getting ready to spread his wings. But yet he was shot down in an alley in St. Louis, Missouri, and left to bleed to death. Stepped over by someone coming home from work and discovered, and to this day, there's nobody held responsible for his death. I went to St. Louis and went to the funeral and was told by those who knew something but refused to say something, that the people who killed your brother was sitting in the back of the funeral home laughing at y'all while y'all cried. My heart is heavy. My heart is burdened when I read and hear that another life has been lost. And our only answer is that the preachers need to fix it. I've come today to argue that this is not a problem that's just fixable by preaching. I've come to argue that the preacher can't fix this problem. The preacher could have fixed this problem. Ivan would be getting ready to turn 57 next month. I wish I had some help in here. And incidentally, on the way to the point here, people who feel that the preacher need to fix it is like you going to the doctor. And the doctor telling you you're diagnosed with the flu and give you a Z-Pack or Tamiflu or whatever they give you in a shot and tell you take this 3 times a day, 5 days in a row, and don't miss taking one dose. And you walk out the doctor office, on your way out the office, you drop it in the trash can. And then call the doctor a quack and say he's guilty of malpractice. If you wanted the preacher to fix it, all you had to do been listening to what the preacher's saying and then going home to your house and applying what the preacher told you to apply, and the problem would have been solved. This is not the kind of problem. This is not the kind of problem that you can blame the school for. It's not the school system's problem. They're dealing with it after it has manifested itself. See, you can't blame the police. It's not the police problem. I'm going to get somewhere here in a minute. He said, I need y'all to listen to me, see, because we don't want to be honest about this thing and let the shoe fall where it ought to fall. Now, Absalom was David's son. Y'all know David, don't you? Harp playing, shepherd boy. The Bible said a man after God's own heart. God's chosen king after he fired Saul. David was he was beloved by all. Saul killed thousands, but David killed 10,000, and he ascended to the throne, and everything was going David's way, and David was too busy partying and having a good time and enjoying David. In the process, things happen in his own house. First thing that really jumped off in the house that ought not have happened was that Amon set up his sister Tamar and raped her. This ain't no crackerjack stuff. This straight out the Bible. And raped her. And David knew that Amon had raped Tamar and did nothing about it. See, the first point of this text is the horrors in our homes. See, we don't want to deal with the stuff in the house. It's cute when little bit is bouncing and shaking at 2. But when she's 22 and got a pole and shaking it and paying your bills, and you looking the other way knowing she ain't hitting the lick at a stick all day long, but in nighttime she got money. Y'all don't want to help me today. That's all right. I'm sick and tired of this. I've had it up to here that we want to turn a deaf ear when these boys got more money than the bank and don't clock in nowhere, and they live in your house. I ain't talking about folk in the street. I'm talking about folk that come out of our houses. And you won't put them out because they pay your bills. David turned a deaf ear to the fact that his son had raped his daughter. But Absalom said, that's all right. I'll handle it. I'll take care of this. And he plotted and waited for almost 3 years to get even with Amon and killed his brother. David's still out there doing David. Had a rapist in his house. Had a daughter in his house that got raped. Now he has a murderer in his house. And David still doing David. Can I holler at the Davids for a minute? And tell y'all, listen, it's time for y'all to stop doing yourselves and come home. The Bible is still right. Train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he's old, he won't depart from the way. Even if he get off track, Jones, he'll come back. Even if he get out there, he'll get back because he remember what mama said, what daddy said, what the village said. I thought I had somebody here that know what I'm talking about. Look, if you train them. I hadn't met a child yet that wasn't a fool when they came here. All of them fools. They come here foolish. The 2 we had were foolish. You had to train them. And see, that mental cortex does not develop to about age 25, 26, depending on the child, some of them 27. Until then, they take all kind of chances. Until then, they think they're invisible. Until then, they think a bullet won't hurt them. Until then, they think can't nobody stop them. They think until then, they got the world in a jug and a stopper in their hand. And these houses are nothing but hotels and cafeterias. And David didn't check Absalom when Absalom needed checking. Listen to me, parents. If you're a single parent, that's okay. Parent. If the man missing, that's okay. Listen, you ain't the first woman. Some women had to raise the kids with the man in the house. So you ain't the first one that had to do it without the man's help. So I'm not giving you no pass. And I want to say a word to these men who claim to be men. Two things. Number one, go and be a man and put your britches on right. And then stand up and take care of your children. You made them, help raise them. Now, I know what you're saying, but see, preacher, you understand, their mama crazy. She wasn't crazy one night. She was all right for about 25 seconds one night. Somewhere along the line, what we've got to do, Union Baptists, we've got to take back our homes. Now, if you live in my house and you aren't grown and don't pay no bills, you live in my house and you are subject to search without warrant. Let me see, can I make this plain? Your drawers are in my drawers. Somebody, they got a room. Where they got a room at? Look, if you got a room, here's your portion of the mortgage. Here's your portion of the rent. If you got a room, here's your portion of the light bill. If you got a room, here's your portion of utilities. Tell my mama, stay out my room. You better come here and catch me real quick. I'm scuffling to make sure we don't get evicted, and you telling me stay out of your room? Listen, when we were growing up, you couldn't bring nothing to the house. I need 12 people in here from the old school. You couldn't bring nothing to the house without them asking you, number one, who it belonged to. Where you get it from? You ain't got no job. I found this bike. Will you take it back where you found it and park it? Because it ain't going to be at my house. The horrors of the home. The Bible is still right. Children, obey your parents. That's the first promise. That's the first commandment with promise that your days, may be longer upon the earth. Some folk live a long time because they were a good child. That your days may be longer upon this earth. Children, obey your parents. Don't listen to your friend. Don't listen to that fella you call your boyfriend or somebody else. Obey your mom and them. But the Bible also said, parents, provoke not your children to anger. See, you got to stop stepping them and then make the oldest take care of all them while you in the street. See, it's unfair that you pass brother and sister off to brother and sister to raise brother and sister while you do your thing. It will bring horrors in your house. David had time for Absalom. He didn't have time for Tamar. He had time for Amon. All David had time for was David. I'm talking about David. Y'all looking at me like I'm talking about y'all. We're suffering and we keep telling ourselves we are right when we're not all right. When you have to have officials set a curfew, there's trouble in the home. Listen, here it is. Mama, yeah, can I go to the park? Go on down there. But don't let sundown. I don't know where y'all getting us stuff about street lights from. I'm from the country. It's don't let dark catch you out of this yard. And then you trying to tell somebody about be home by 10 and be home by 11. Man, I walked up in my mama's house at 10 o'clock at night. You think George Foreman hit Muhammad Ali or Joe Frazier hit Muhammad Ali? Listen, here it is. Well, see, Pastor, they just come and go when they want to. Look, they sell locks at Lowe's every day. You come there and pop your key in there, it gonna say tick-a-lock. See, it makes no sense for you to have to lock your bedroom door in your own house to keep folk out your house that live in your house. Lock the front door, change those locks. I know you ain't gonna like me today, that's all right. See, until we raise up and take control of our houses, our streets are still gonna be unsafe. Our schools are going to be in shambles, and our police are going to be overworked, and our morticians are going to stay embalming somebody. Now, listen, kids died when we were growing up, but they died from stuff like drowning. Or a car wreck. Every now and then somebody got shot hunting. I need some help in here because y'all making me think I can believe all this by myself. And the most we did was got into a fist fight. And if you lost, you just lost. You went on home. And that was the end of it. Now you got folks killing folk because they don't like other folk that don't like them folk. Our children are being shot because they got on the wrong colors. And everybody turning their head. Look, if the red is the color that you ought not to wear, go in your closet and take all the red out your children's closet. I'm going to let Larry leave home with red on and he ain't a gangbanger. But that's the color of the gangbanger, and he leaving my house with that color on? No. See, until the church rise up and remind the parents of their responsibility. Now, I got some parents in here that raised 15 kids and raised a great number of kids, and we got 2 or 3 and can't do nothing. I just can't do nothing with him, Pastor. Seek me out the church. I can't tell you from up here what. Man, listen here. Growing up. My mama and them put the fear of God in us. See, these children don't have no fear today because you play with them too much. Listen, both my children had a rite of passage where they became 21, where they could legally go in a bar, show an ID, and get a martini. Both of them did. But neither of them did that with their mother and their father. Matter of fact, neither one of them has taken a drink with us since they've been on the planet. Now, it's just some stuff. He might be my namesake, but it's just some stuff that Larry and Larry aren't doing together. Listen to me. Here it is. Bend the sapling while it's young. See, whenever they swing back, I don't care if it's 18 months, if they swing back, if they stomp away at 2, I watched this video the other day, and I had to quit watching because my pressure got up because it had almost millions of views, and this little boy was arguing with his mama and telling him, "Give me my sister," and she telling him, "Boy, get out the car. Look, Mom, don't you start with me." And they thought that was cute. I said, now, he about 4 or 5 now, and he's saying this to her. When he gets 6, 7, 8, he gonna be beating her. What has happened that parents have abdicated raising their children and left it to smartphones and video games? Now, we didn't have the kind of technology you got right now, but we still couldn't stay in the house all day and watch TV. Let me get on to my second point, but I need 5 people to help me. When the sun came up, get up, make up my bed, and go outdoors. And don't come back in this house till I call you. So you had to go out there then and create some stuff. Hopscotch, cowboys, Indian, hide and go seek, and all that stuff. These children go in their room, lock the door, and play video games all day, and dare you knock on it. Boy, handshaking ain't gonna be long today, is it? The horrors. But secondly, I see in the text, not only did Absalom have to deal with the horrors in his house, but secondly, he had to deal with the hurts in his heart. It affects our children when we have picks and chooses. We favor one more than we do the other. When we tell them what they ain't gonna be. When we use profane language talking to them. It hurts our children. Absalom had pain in his heart. But Absalom was good looking. Had long flowing hair. Very handsome young man. And so Absalom decided, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to undermine my daddy. I'm going to take my daddy's kingdom from him. Read the story later, you get it. And so David's so busy doing David until he didn't realize that Absalom was taking literally his kingdom from him. Here's what he did. He met the people at the gate and said, where are you going? They said, we're going to see the king. Say, what you going to see the king about? Say, such and such. Say, no, I can handle that for you. And he started giving the people's answers and keep treating the people kindly, and the people started listening to Absalom. And before David knew anything, he had to go on the run because Absalom had literally took over his kingdom. And that's what happened to some of us today that live in these houses. You thought it was cute when they were taking pictures with them little fingers all crooked. Break them hands. You got D's and F's on your report card, but you can throw up a sign. I hope somebody in here listening to me. Because we got to save Absalom. Look, I refuse to keep on burying my brother over and over again. I just refuse to let folk like Cameron and Breland and Braden and Bryson, I'm going to fight for them. Anybody else in the house gonna fight for? Look, I baptized some boys today. I'm fighting for them. We just sitting around. Man, if I had disrespected somebody who was grown when I was growing up, man, it wouldn't have been enough meat left. And now these children will tell you what they gonna do, and they mama and them gonna come back them up. When I grew up, Nick, I was wrong until proven right. Anybody else? So you calling Miss Maybell a lie, huh? So you done got grown. So you calling folks lies now. No, mama, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Miss Maybell ain't telling the truth. I didn't do it. So Miss Maybell a liar. Fast forward 2018. Fast forward. She did what? See, I go hard for mine. I go hard for mine. Look, I'm gonna get that. And then you all upset with me and all upset with somebody else. And you all out there cussing the teacher out. And you raised the problem. Reinforced the problem. And sent the problem to school. And said to them, handle it. She came there with attitude. He left home mad. Because he had to put the same uniform on today he had yesterday. Because you too busy getting mani and petties. Somewhere along this line, we've got to take back control of our houses. Young people, if y'all living here and you disrespecting your parents, I'm going to tell your parents how to handle you right after church. I'm going to tell them. I get out the pulpit. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to whisper in their ear what to do to you. And if they have the courage to do it, you're going to straighten up and fly right. Monkey was trying to hitch a ride one day, and the brother said, I'll give you a ride. The brother had some ulterior motives. He said, I'll get him up about 1,000 feet and drop him. And then he died, and then I got me something to eat. The monkey said, okay, brother, I'll ride with you. Brother took off straight up. Monkey did a ride and chilling. Brother started that dive to drop him. Monkey wrapped his tail around that buzzard neck and buzzard, you're choking me. choking me. He said, straighten up and fly right. Did you get it? They didn't get it, y'all. The balcony got it. Now I saw one of them children say, see, I was not afraid of the police. It didn't get that far. I was afraid of my mama. I was hoping that the police would come help me. Somebody going to jail, Lord. Go where? Ain't no way you finna call my mama and tell her I'm in. Here it is. He's hurt. He's hurting. He's hurting. He's taken over the kingdom. And now, here's David's response. I'm closing. Here's David's response. Now, remember, Amon raped Tamar. And David didn't do nothing about it. Absalom waited 3 years, but he got him and killed him. And David didn't do nothing about it. Now David is displaced from his kingdom because Absalom is taken over. And so he finally decides that he needs to do something. Now listen what he does. Listen what he does. He calls his captain of the host, and he says to him, get the army and go find the boy, but don't harm him. Let me tell you something. When they get so far gone, the only thing you can do is let the system do what it has to do. Now, when you put book, pen, and paper down for pistols, then you can't say that, hey, the police was wrong. No, teach them that they don't play with guns. Get all the guns in your house that you hadn't bought, call the police and say, come pick them up. Stop letting people hide packages in your house. Here it is. That's how you used to get your nails done. Here it is. Get you some Palmolive dish liquid, get you a bowl, get you some hot water, sit on your gluteus maximus and do your own nails. Get them packages out your house. Y'all ain't knew what no nail shop was. Come on, talk to me, somebody. That file. Didn't even know what the cuticle thing was. You use the end of the fingernail file to dig the cuticles out. You soak them fingers long enough, you can do this stuff yourself. My mom used to sit down, and I, boy, when it came time to comb and hair, boy, I just kind of left the house because, boy, they were rough on them sisters of mine. Sit down here, and that popping, with that straightening comb popping while they were getting that hair straightened. And me and my wife like to got divorced when Nicole was a baby. We like to got divorced. Because she told me, I'm putting a perm in her. I'm like, the devil is a lie. You ain't putting no perm in that baby head. Yes, I am, because I'm tired of combing it, but you ain't putting no perm in that baby. We thought about that for a long time. I said, no, you going to comb her hair because she ain't grown yet. You going to comb her, could give her perm. I'm about to kill her. Don't put no perm. We got too many girls with grown folk hairdos and grown folk clothes on, hanging out in grown folk places. Can we save him? Is he redeemable? The hurt that's in these children's heart need to be listened to. The pain that your children are going through, you need to sit down and quit cussing and just ask them what's wrong. Why are you angry? And then on up to the fact that sometimes we fail our children. I don't know a parent who hadn't. Because look, raising children is not an easy task in the 21st century. Things happen, you know. So when you get angry with your child, go back and tell them, look, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Mama love you. Look, my mama beat me and then said, come here and give me a hug. And you had to go hug her too. You know mama love you. You ain't act like it a minute ago. You trying to kill me. But I thank God she put the stripes on my back and I didn't trade my name for a number. My life is not messed up. I ain't been to jail. I ain't on drugs. Y'all gonna talk to me in here? Look, they raised you. You turn out all right. I'm sick and tired of hearing folks talking about, I ain't going to raise my kids like I was raised. What was wrong with how you were raised? You ain't no drug addict. You don't steal. You don't lie unless you have to. I'm out. I'm closing, Carlos. This still works. Train up a child. "16-year-old in Gulfport, gone too soon." Because he and two 15-year-olds in the back room getting ready to make a video with guns to put on Facebook, and the gun accidentally discharged, shoots him in his own chest, and he dies. And then his family out in the street talking about, we gonna get justice. Justice was you didn't let them guns in your house in the first place. Now I know we live in a concealed carry, you know, toted. Some of y'all probably strapped this morning, but don't. That's all right. I know what kind of time we live in, but let me tell you something. Guns don't kill, people kill. And if you got a gun, you need to be able to handle it. And if you got one and got children, it need to be locked up somewhere. We're suffering, we're dying, and we are mad at the wrong people. The runner comes. The runner comes. And this is what he says to David. He said, David, King David, everybody who has opposed you have been dealt with. David's question was, is the young man safe? The answer is no. Because this what happened to Absalom is my third point. He was riding his mule, trying to get away from the army. He's running.